This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Hello and welcome everybody back inside Carl Albert High School in the Titan Classic here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Final two games of the day, we're ready for you as we have the boys semifinals on deck. Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray here for you. First game up here for the semis, Carl Albert, Norman, number 1 team in 5A, number 8 team in 6A. Jordan, we had both of these teams last night in the first round, and both really dominated their way to this point. We were kind of salivating a little bit about the possibilities of this game, the individual matchups within the game. This one on paper looks pretty darn solid.
Yes, because both teams have so many different ways they can beat you. They have size, they have guard play, they got speed, and I couldn't effectively predict who's going to be, the best player on the floor for either team. The closest I could come would be the 2 point guards, of course, but both teams are so much more than their point guards.
Right. Very deep, both teams. That's something that stands out as well, seeing them, of course, last night. Norman went, Coach Cole went double-digit. The whole roster came into the game, obviously, by the time it was over. But I don't want that to be misleading because they won by a lot, because even before it got out of hand, he was playing a lot of guys. So Norman very deep, Carl Albert, that goes without saying. Lots of guys, athletes off the bench that other schools just don't have. That's what the Titans possess. So a lot to be excited about here with this matchup. The first semifinal, the second one coming up after this one. Putnam City North will take on Destiny Christian. Jordan, I'll have that game coming up for you in just a little bit. We'll break that one down when we get there, but should have a couple of fun semis and almost no matter what, a tremendous championship game tomorrow. It's been 6 great games on the network already today. We have 14 games under our belt already. We're on the backslide here, Jordan. We have 10 to go. These two, then the final 8 tomorrow. Shout out to Sean Thurman stepping in doing that last game. Kirk Norman this morning. You already did 4 games, so are you feeling up to this? Are you going to make it?
As a play-by-play guy, no. So I'll pass those reins on to you for a reason.
No problem. And we should have a couple of fun games that'll make it easier. I want to go ahead and thank some of our sponsors here before we get to lineups and all that good stuff. Bob's Fish and Seafood, the Titan Classic on the Oklahoma Sports Network, brought to you in part by the good people over there. Bob's Fish and Seafood, a great dine-in or carry-out seafood experience. Check them out, 9205 Northeast 23rd Street in OKC. Bob's Fish and Seafood. Also want to thank Dynamic Health Clinic in Hera. Play better, recover faster at Dynamic Health Clinic. And then also, of course, La Herencia Grill for the best Mexican food in Midwest City. Visit La Herencia Grill at 6811 Southeast 15th Street. Our sponsors to help us bring you every second of the Titan Classic here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. There's a great day 1. We've had a really good day 2. Some great games. That game right before us was fantastic. As Carl Albert girls punch their ticket to the championship. They'll see Edmond Memorial tomorrow. Jordan and I will be back on the call for that one at 7 p.m. tomorrow. That should be a great championship on the girls' side as well. Like you said yesterday, you don't get to the championship at a tournament of this, this level by accident. You got to be playing well to win 2 games here. So it's going to be fun tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Go ahead and get our starting lineups in here, presented by Louis in Midwest City, 6007 Southeast 15th Street in Midwest City. Louis, we're in your neighborhood. Starting lineups here first for the Norman Tigers. They're the I'm waiting to see. Norman's going to be the team in white, but it's on Carl Albert's home floor, so it's always that tricky. And Carl Albert, are they considered the visiting team or home team? Kind of can trip you up a little bit. It looks like Norman is going first. So starting lineup for the Tigers, number 1 is Kason Cole, the senior point guard, coach's kid, was fantastic last night. BJ Randall, number 10, back into the lineup. The sophomore didn't start last night. Number 15, Trayshawn Combs-Pierce. He was tremendous in Norman's win in the first round. Matt Willenborg, number 20, he's a senior. And the big number 33, Marquise Combs-Pierce, a senior as well in this big, powerful Norman lineup. They get a little bit smaller with Randall in there, of course, but they still have athleticism all over the place, and they're going to need it against this Carl Albert group that is as impressive as any in the state. Number 2 is Casey Baker. He's a 6'1 junior. Number 3, Jordan England, the senior point guard. You know him well if you watch Carl Albert, the predominant ball handler, all that good stuff. Number 11, big Jaden Mott, 6'7 junior. Number 21, Ryan Reynolds can really get hot from deep. He's a 6'5 junior. And then rounding out number 22, Quincy Hopkins, a 6'3 junior. And that's kind of the scary part about this team, Jordan, is that 2 seniors. Obviously, all this athleticism and a lot of this team will be back next year. But obviously, Jordan England kind of the straw that stirs the drink a little bit. Same could be said for Casey Cole on the other side.
Yep.
That point guard matchup's going to be great.
Yeah, well, what I look forward to seeing is, do they actually guard each other? We should compare them no matter what, even if they're not guarding each other because of what they do. But will they defend each other? And what other matchups will we see if both teams go with a man defense? For example, wouldn't be surprised to see Quincy Hopkins be matched up with Trayshawn Combs-Pierce. Really good matchup there because you're talking about 2 really good athletes. Wouldn't be surprised to also see Casey Baker matched up against Matt Willenborg. And that's an interesting matchup because both of them could, they fill that stretch 4 label. So very, very interesting to see who guards who and how they defend each other.
I love that big man matchup, too. We're presuming Jaden Mott and then Marquise Combs-Pierce. That's going to be a lot of fun.
That's a requirement because if either one goes inside, whether they zone or go man, they're going to both be defending in the paint.
Norman, like we said, is wearing white on Carl Albert's home floor with the orange numbers and black Tigers across the front. Carl Albert in the visiting Reds on their own floor with the white numbers and Titans across the chest. Tip is won by Carl Albert. We're off and running. So glad you found us. Boys semifinal number 1, Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray on the Oklahoma Sports Network. This is Hopkins with it. First possession. Ryan Reynolds has it back to Hopkins. England again. It is Cole guarding him. Pulls up from the elbow. Got it. Cash money. Jordan England. That was silky.
Just like we hoped for.
Yeah.
England guarding Cole. Now on the other end, Casey Baker is guarding Kason Cole. I'm not sure about Baker's defense. I know Price would not do this, Coach Price, unless he thought highly of it. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, very interesting for sure. And there's Jordan England making another impact now on the other side. Poked it away and lost it out of bounds. I want to quickly thank our first quarter sponsor as well. Can't forget them. CrossFit Complete, a community dedicated to the daily pursuit of fitness, excellence, and serving others. In doing so, they strive to give their members the best hour of their day. CrossFitComplete.com is where you can check them out. Cole kind of trapped there, gets it up to Trayshawn Combs-Pierce. There's Randall in the corner. He'll pull up from the elbow. That might have been a travel, and it was.
Well, so Jordan England's guarding Randall, but he's not just guarding him. He's roaming, and he trapped Cole, was able to get back on defense against Randall. Randall just was unsure what to do there, and he hesitated on that shot and moved his feet, got called for a travel.
Here's England the other way. Mentioned it right at the top. Carl Albert, number 1 in 5A, 12-2 record. Norman, number 8 in 6A at 8-5. And both teams really bullied their way here. Carl Albert blowout of McAllister. Norman just ran away from Tahlequah last night in the second half. So both teams feeling good, feeling confident after good opening round wins last night. There's Randall in the corner. He'll kind of jab step once, hands it off to Combs-Pierce. Pull up jumper on the baseline, no. There's big Marquise Combs-Pierce pull down the rebound. And another opportunity here for Norman. Cole underneath. Combs-Pierce bumped in the back by Mott. That's an early foul on the 6'7" Jaden Mott.
Yeah, no, Mott can't foul like that. He's got to stay in the game.
Yeah.
They can't. They don't have another big man they can really bring off the bench who can guard Randall inside. So, or Combs-Pierce, sorry.
was thinking the same. That's not a foul you want to give up if you're Coach Price and Carl Albert with Mott. Corner three for Randall doesn't go. Rebound is pulled in, though, by Willenborg. That was tremendous, but then he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, England is willing to leave Randall open.
Carl Albert coached by Jay Price, Norman by Corey Cole, two very good at what they do. Got a couple of good teams here. Should be a fun one. In the corner, here's Hopkins. To the top, Mott. Outside Baker, guarded by Randall. Tried to shake him, instead he'll give it up. Mott. No call there, goes out of bounds. They will keep it with Carl Albert.
See, Mott, he needs to develop a second dribble there, I think, to make that an effective move. But you see an early sub, they take Cole out. I think they want someone who is maybe a more reliable shooter. This, by the way, moves Miller on Hopkins.
Yeah, Landon Miller subs in for Norman. He started last night in Randall's spot, and he's the first one off the bench here. And I'm going to say Cole overhanded the basketball, so that's a turnover.
Very unusual to see Case and Cole make that type of unforced mistake. You may not see that again for a long time. He may be in college by the next time he makes that mistake. I should have said it was Willenborg, who was switching to Hopkins. But now it's Trayshawn Combs-Pierce guarding him.
England with the ball. He's guarded by Cole. Gets up to Baker. He's got Miller on him. England and Cole. Well, we're only a few minutes in, but that matchup's awesome. Him kind of denying him the ball there, did Cole. Baker in the corner. Ryan Reynolds for three. Clackums. First three ball. Bobby Lewis Insurance three ball with surprisingly great rates with two locations to serve you in Choctaw and Del City. Bobby Lewis Insurance three ball there. We mentioned it when I was doing the lineups. Reynolds can really get hot from three. Didn't see that much last night, but it's in there.
You're right. That's the one star that didn't get going for Carl Albert last night, so welcome sight there for them.
Early 5-0 lead. Norman's looking for their first points. Combs-Pierce will take a three ball. It's off. Miller, a nice rebound. Stick back, no, though. Good contest by Reynolds. Ball's on the deck now and scooped up by Hopkins. Officials are letting them kind of bang a little bit here early. As I say that, here's a foul. And Hopkins, it's an offensive foul. I'm a little surprised by that. I thought that was going to be a block.
He tried to shift, but you know what? Trayshawn Combs-Pierce was set. Good job by him. One thing, though, we really admire the way he played, talking about Trayshawn Combs-Pierce yesterday, but he didn't really shoot well much from the outside. He's trying to do that here. Hasn't made an outside shot yet. We'll see if that changes.
Yeah, obviously most of his damage done in the paint yesterday with his athleticism, and he's got hops as good as anyone I've seen at the high school level. And here he is working on Hopkins. He'll give it up to Willenborg.
England switched on Willenborg, too.
Cole for three up the back iron. England did a good job tapping that out for a rebound over the much taller Willenborg. And Carl Albert still pitching a shutout here halfway through the first quarter.
I wonder if Willenborg might take England in the post some. That's something Norman might look at.
Mott kick out to Baker in the corner. You can see him kind of wanting to go at Marquise Combs-Pierce, and a couple times he's thought better of it. Hopkins thought about the step back. Instead he'll give it underneath to Mott. Mott will pull up over Combs-Pierce. Can't get it. Tip back, though, by England.
Even amongst all the athletes out there, Jordan England standing out. But, Mott, he has to either try to swish that shot or use the backboard. It kind of seemed like he did both on that shot. That's why he missed it.
Deep three for Miller. Clackums from way deep. The Bobby Lewis three ball, and Norman finally on the board.
Now you know why
5 minutes in.
England switched off Miller there.
Reynolds right back the other way. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound on the floor. I'm going to whistle on a foul. Is this on Baker? Looks like it is.
So Miller comes in for Randall, and England goes from guarding Randall to guarding Willenborg, and I think it's because they respect Miller's three-point shooting. They don't want England guarding a good three-point shooter. They want him roaming on defense at times.
So some subs. Here comes Tayshawn James into the game for Carl Albert. For Norman, you get number 22, Isaiah Amos, into the ball game for the first time. Saw him have some pretty productive minutes yesterday off the bench. Miller guarded by Reynolds. Hit that deep three a second ago. Combs-Pierce. Combs-Pierce-Hopkins is an athletic matchup. I like that one too. Mott with a nice active hands here. Pokes that away. Gets the turnover. Down the floor. Through some contact. Couldn't finish. That was a good contest by Norman. And And they start the break the other way. Here's Miller. Gives it up to Combs Pierce. And back to Cole, and Norman will try to set something up. Cole will drive. Amos with it on the block, back out. Cole tried to get to Amos, was deflected, still found his way to him, and it's knocked out of bounds. Well, Carl Albert is giving nothing easy right now for Norman offensive. I mean, their only points came with Miller taking a really deep three.
You see Hutch Russell going in for Mott. That's a really smaller lineup, but right now Norman's going smaller because they took Marquise Combs Pierce out, so maybe why Carl Albert's going small as well.
Miller inbound right to Willenborg in the corner, and he airballed it long. Hutch Russell pulls that down, just in for the Titans. Hopkins in the corner, Reynolds, step back three, ball foul, it's a Clackamas anyway! Get our replay in, of course, from the Crocstar Dinner Club Instant Replay, bringing families back to the dinner table with effortless cooking, located at 2150 South Douglas Boulevard, Suite G in Midwest City. Ryan Reynolds going for the 4-point play here.
It's just a bad closeout there by Matt Willenborg. And you're taught to close out a certain way. You never want to foul a jump shooter. That's one of the common basketball sayings.
Yeah.
And how about Ryan Reynolds, about to have 7 on the day if he can hit this shot.
Yeah,
That's
Norman's first foul of this quarter, and it was a costly one. It comes on a potential 4-point play, and it is a 4-point play at the Rose State charity stripe there. Reynolds puts that down, and Carl Albert leads at 11-3, 7 from Reynolds, and I don't know how Amos just got behind everybody there. England ran down and fouled him.
There was a blown assignment. Someone was supposed to be back playing kind of the free safety position. Maybe Tayshaun James because he plays free safety in football, but I don't think it was him.
So Isaiah Amos will head to the Rose State charity stripe. Want to get college credit while still in high school at Rose State College. High school students can earn up to 27 tuition-free credit hours of college credit through concurrent enrollment. The Rose State charity stripe all tournament long here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Amos makes the first, rattles off the second, so split the trip.
The first foul on Jordan England. It's a good foul because it produced a free throw trip where Norman made only one free throw, but that's something to watch out for.
Reynolds, rocket pass underneath to James. Kick back out, Reynolds in the corner again. Clackamas, he's hot! He's got 10 in the first quarter, another Bobby Lewis 3-ball, and the Titans lead at 14-4.
You know, I'm just going to say, Carl Albert's Ryan Reynolds is hotter right now than Canada's Ryan Reynolds. You know what I'm talking about?
Here's Cole on the right wing. What a start for Reynolds. Again, he was kind of the one Titan starter who never really got going yesterday. He's rectifying that now. Billingsley will shoot that one, doesn't go. Ends up getting his own rebound somehow, right to the rim, and he finishes. The freshman Bo Billingsley. Nice move there, and Norman gets a needed bucket.
This is a really good job by Billingsley to just weave his way into the paint. There were several defenders there. He just took him by surprise.
Final minute of the first quarter. Good start to this one. Carl Albert with a 14-6 edge. Hopkins back to James. Now Hutch Russell has the basketball. England now with it. Checks with his bench. Reynolds again. Oh, he's feeling good. He pump fakes once and drives. Now hands it off to Russell. Guarded by Cole, who's hounding him here. He gets it up to James. Carl Albert, no big hurry here. Can probably hope for the final shot of the quarter now if they wanted.
See if James could do something here. He could take his man off the dribble. Last year he could. This year he's still kind of getting adjusted. We'll see if he makes that attempt.
10 seconds to play in the opening quarter. James will take it right at Miller, splits the defender, scoop layup attempt, and it rolls home. Great finish by James. Cole will try and get up a half quarter, and he does. There was a lot of contact there. No call, though, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. What a start for the Titans. They lead at 16-6 on their home floor after one. Second quarter next, right back here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
We want to make your next event an adventure. At Inflatable Adventures, we want to make your next event hassle-free by providing incredible products at a great price, along with amazing customer service. We offer one of the widest selections of bounce houses, water slides, obstacle courses, and so much more. Give us a call today or check us out online at inflatableadventures.org. Remember, Inflatable Adventures, the only inflation worth paying.
Back here in Midwest City at the Titan Classic, Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Good start for Carl Albert to lead at 16-6.
And what we're seeing is Coach Cole for Norman is willing to go deeper into his bench right now with his team not playing well.
Right.
And Carl Albert, I think in a tight game, at least the game that Coach Price thinks will be really tight, he's willing to go 7 deep. I don't know if he's willing to go much deeper than that.
Norman down 10 as we open up the quarter. Cold fadeaway shot doesn't roll home. James skied for it, but Willenborg just took it away.
It's on the floor, but I think it's going to be the second
that.
foul on Mott because he bit on the pump fake.
That's a good call by you. Yeah, it's on Mott, looks like, and that is 2 early ones on Mott, so something certainly worth keeping an eye on. We'll see if Coach Price sticks with him for the lion's share of this quarter. Looks like he's probably not. There's a sub heading to the bench there in Hopkins, so we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Norman, look at Baker jump the passing lane. It's going to be an easy lay-in for Casey Baker.
Well, he's showing his defensive skills there.
Yeah.
Guarding Casey Cole, I wasn't sure about that, but he's been up to the task.
He has. Cole hasn't scored yet. If my memory serves me correctly, 18-6.
He hasn't been that aggressive either, so we'll see if Cole changes that. He needs to try to take over perhaps. So does this guy.
Combs Pierce was a nice move, but didn't finish. But then his brother's right there to put it home. Marquise Combs Pierce cleans it up.
By the way, that finish at the end of the first quarter by Tayshaun James, really big because I think once he gets his confidence going again, he can be the same dynamic guard that he was last year.
Here's Mott at the top with those 2 fouls. Gets it to Baker in the corner. There's a whistle here. I didn't see really what the call was.
He was out of bounds off Norman. Cole hit it out of bounds.
Oh, the bar here, right? Blocked my vision of that a little bit.
So Hopkins comes in. Who guards Hopkins? They're going to switch around.
So Willenborg is going to get on him.
They're going to sink Combs Pierce down. Marquise Combs Pierce. They don't want him. I don't know who they want guarding Reynolds because I don't know if you want Pierce to do that. They're going to go zone.
Yeah, Combs Pierce was on him there, the younger of the two, Trayshawn. Here's Casey Baker with it. Bounce pass underneath to James. He skies up and puts it in right over the top of Marquise Combs Pierce.
Now who will guard Marquise on the other end? That's the question.
That's a big question. And there he is, cleaning up the glass and putting. Oh, he didn't finish it. I spoke a little too soon. Didn't roll it home. Another empty trip for Norman. Carl Albert up 12. You don't want to get in too big of a hole against the Titans, obviously. It's maybe already too big for Coach Cole's liking, down 12. A lot of game left, though. Here's Hopkins.
That's a mismatch here.
From the free throw line. Rolls it in. That was pretty.
Now, Marquise Combs Pierce, I don't think he can guard Hopkins because Hopkins can hit perimeter jumpers. Norman might want to stick in his zone for right now. But Carl Albert is lethal against zones. They have really good ball movement against any zone you can come up with.
Hopkins able to get that separation so easily on that. Here's Combs Pierce driving, and he'll be fouled. Get some free throws. I want to thank our second quarter sponsor here while we have a break in the action, Buffalo Wild Wings, where every day is game day. Go get some wings at 5500 Tinker Diagonal in Del City. As Combs Pierce heads to the Rose State Charity Stripe. I think I've asked you before, what's your go-to sauce at B-Dubs? What's your wing preference?
Some sweet barbecue. I'm not a spicy guy.
I'm a big garlic parmesan. That's an automatic for me. Yeah, that one's right up there for me. Combs Pierce misses the first one. He's got a second one here coming. Norman's committed just 1 foul. It came on that 4-point play, but
I was going to mention that. That's one thing that could get Norman back in this game is the foul situation.
Right.
6 on Carl Albert, so Norman
in the bonus now.
Needs to try to get to the free throw line.
Split trip there, so 22-9, 5:40 to play in the first half. I mean, bottom line, if you're Norman, you only got 9 on the board. I mean, you got to find a way to get more offense. That goes without saying. Holding the Titans at 22 at this point, really not too bad, considering what they're capable of, but got to find more offense. Here's James with it for the Titans. He's up to England. He's guarded by Randall, who just checked back in. Baker, right wing. We'll back it out, check with Coach Price. Hutch Russell Hopkins again. Takes it right at Combs Pierce. Now he'll give it up. Norman not making it easy here, but with no shot clock, you can kind of wait. Back out Baker, and he thought about it. Hesitation, and he overhanded the ball. So a turnover. Good defense there by Norman.
Carl Albert was being very patient, waiting for their opportunity. But they're going 5 out right now, and it's interesting how by having to take Mott out, they forced Norman to adjust and take Marquise Combs-Pierce out.
4:45 to play in the first half. Here's Billingsley driving forward. Tigers and James like a volleyball spike right into the floor.
James is really into this game right now. This is, like I said, just a good sign for Carl Albert moving forward. Not so much for this tournament, although it is that, but future games for Carl Albert.
Yeah, Carl Albert, they want to win the tournament, but they got bigger fish to fry, obviously, overall. Number 1 team in 5A. Good finish here by Willenborg putting that one home. Norman within 11.
Norman needs to do that more. They have other guys they can go inside the post that will have a size advantage against most Carl Albert players, and that's one of them. Willenborg is taller than any Carl Albert player they have out there right now.
That's a good point. There's James to the rim. Oh, my goodness. He tried to slam that thing down, and he's fouled, and we'll head to the free throw line and the Rose State charity stripe, which is where James will shoot a pair here. Just the second foul on Norman. First personal against Landon Miller.
So we'll see how he shoots these. I thought he might have fallen on his right arm. I don't know if that's where he got hurt.
Yeah, it's kind of an awkward fall. I mean, he's back up. He looks like he's okay, but
you know, he has to feel the same way that Quincy Hopkins did a few minutes ago when he was being guarded by Marquise Combs-Pierce. In this case, I think it's Willenborg guarding him. But James has to be like, yeah, I get to the basket on this guy, and that's what he did.
Missed the first one. Kason Cole back in place of B.J. Randall.
All right, Carl Albert with a smaller lineup. No Jaden Mott in to defend the paint. They either need to post up Willenborg or Kason Cole has to start taking over. He has not totally asserted himself yet.
Mm-hmm. Free throw good, so a split trip. It's kind of been the theme of the night. Both teams kind of having a lot of split trips at the line. 23-11 Titans. Here's Billingsley for Norman bringing it down the floor as we approach the midway point of the second quarter.
They're taking Kason Cole off the ball.
Miller underneath to Willenborg. He's got England on him, kind of a mismatch size-wise. Willenborg will back him down, turn around shot, didn't finish it. England did a pretty nice job considering. And the Titans get a stop. Here's Hopkins back the other way for Carl Albert. Takes it right at Combs-Pierce, and he blocked it right off the wall. That was pretty. I don't know if it was quite as good as Tayshaun James. Did the official take a ball here?
I think he did.
He's collecting himself.
Smarting right now. Yeah, the official, I'm sure he'll be okay, but
there's some chuckles.
That.
Yeah, it went off the wall first.
He said like a volleyball. Tayshaun Combs-Pierce, probably had that going fast. A lot of explosiveness to that ball when it hit at the ref.
Well, Carl Albert keeps it. Oh, and a deflection and a turnover. Start the break for Combs-Pierce. Throw ahead to Willenborg in the corner. Cole for 3 off the back iron. Combs-Pierce the rebound, though. And he tied up by Russell from behind. It's a jump ball or a foul. Looks like officials are going to talk about it.
I would predict foul. I think the way that he
there you go, jump ball.
Oh. What do I know?
we need Casey. We need the
that's right,
official expert.
He has to be down a lot. But Russell, the way he reached in, I thought there was a lot of arm contact. But
3.5 to play in the first half. 23-11 Titans. Here on their home floor in the Titan Classic on the Oklahoma Sports Network. First semifinal. Winner of this one will get PC North Destiny Christian winner. Russell for 3. Clock comes.
There's the hutch.
3 ball, and it's a 15-point lead for Carl Albert.
The hutch is good for at least one of those threes and a half.
Billingsley backing out. Norman still just not enough offense. I mean, I'm not saying anything crazy. They got 11 points on the board here. 3 minutes to play until halftime. Got to find something. Here's Combs-Pierce. Spin move, that was nice, but they're going to whistle it dead. Foul before the shot. If it's a foul, it'd be free throws.
Right. Yeah, and you're right, it would be free throws.
Yeah, and it is going to be a 1-and-1 for Tayshaun Combs-Pierce. And like you said, this is where Norman goes out saying, you're struggling to score points. This is where you got to cash in, is at the free throw line.
Yeah, they have the height advantage at many different positions here, which is rare against Carl Albert for teams to say that, but Norman is one of those teams.
Right.
And Trayshawn Combs-Pierce made a really good post move on Hopkins. I mean, they're, again, two really good athletes. And if I was Combs-Pierce, I'd be like, why'd you call that? Because he was about to get a good shot.
Yeah, it was a great move. Combs-Pierce, he misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Not something you can really stomach right now if you're Norman.
Yeah, that's why you wish the foul wasn't called.
Yeah. Here's Russell back to the way for the Titans. Leaded by 15. Here's Baker now. James, pump fake. Over to Hopkins. Russell once more. He's guarded by J.P. Sumo, just came into the game for Norman. Oop, a little miscommunication here. Baker able to save a good heady play by him to keep that one out of bounds.
You don't get a 30.
And you are correct. A timeout by Coach Price, just a 30-seconder. So 2:22 to play in this first half. I mean, what's Norman got to do to get some offense? Is it just as simple as try to lean on your best guys? Or, I mean, is there something that Coach Cole can try to do that he's not right now in your mind? Because obviously only 11 points. You got to find a way to get some more points on the board.
Yeah, I'm looking to see who is the coach Norman that's going to talk to the players. I guess Coach Cole will. He was collecting his thoughts right there. I would think, you tried attacking through the post, and you had missed shots, you had missed free throws. So one thing you can try to do is find some way to get Case and Cole rolling to the basket or attacking the basket with a roll guy. So high screen and rolls for Case and Cole would be something I would think about doing. Meanwhile, I think Coach Price, this is a juncture where he's seen it before. His team can really expand on this lead and maybe put them in position to not have to play stars as much in the first half. I know it's kind of early to say that, but I'm sure that he's kind of thinking a little bit about a possible PC North rematch.
Sure. How could you not? I mean, that's part of winning these things, is being able to kind of coach it, plan ahead a little bit.
And it's worth repeating, PC North hammered Carl Albert at Mustang a month ago.
Ball's deflected. It'll go out of bounds and stay at this end. Shows you how good the Panthers are. And we'll see them next. PC North and Destiny Christian will be our final game of the day. Coming up in the second boys semifinal. Final 2 minutes of the first half. Baker pass off to Russell. He'll fire from three. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound ripped down by Willenborg. And the Tigers going to stop. Their defense has been all right, but they got to find more on this end. Here's Willenborg. Hands it off to Combs-Pierce to the top. Sumo. Guarded by Hutch Russell. Randall underneath. Combs-Pierce guarded by James. Going to take it right at him. It was just a good contest.
That's where Trayshawn Combs-Pierce needs a good left hand he's trusted to use. He didn't trust his left hand there.
Hopkins. Crossover from the elbow. He'll give it up to Baker. He'll fire a three. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound ripped down by Combs-Pierce once more. Willenborg pulls up from the free throw line, had it poked away, got it back. Hands off to Cole. Cole, big jump step, and then he couldn't finish. He was right there at the rim, but he couldn't cap it off. Norman's had a few of those.
Yeah, I would say just more of that. Don't be too discouraged if you're Case of Cole. Do that again.
Final minute of the first half. James guarded by Cole. Gives it up to England. See if the Titans want to hold here. They got a lot of time to eat, but they're capable.
Nice pass by Hutch.
Great pass underneath to Hopkins. Oh, boy, and he traveled. It was a great pump fake. Both Tigers went flying by him, but he just didn't quite clean it up properly.
It's a great backdoor pass by the Hutch. Great cut by Hopkins. Great pump fake, like you said. But he's got to know to put the ball on the ground first before he shuffles one of his feet, or any of his feet. Well, I said that he could keep one pivot footed. He just didn't do that.
So final half minute of the first half. Stick with us at the half, by the way. We'll have the second half here coming up for you very shortly in the seventh game of day 2 of the Titan Classic.
Oh, lucky break there for Norman.
Yeah, Billingsley lost out of bounds, and it was going to be a break for Carl Albert, but it just lands on the sideline.
Norman was not ready for that trap, and meanwhile, look how Carl Albert's going to match up with Marquise Combs-Pierce. At the very least, he needs to be active on the offensive glass.
Combs-Pierce pulls up, missed it badly to the left. Rebound, though, pulled in by Willenborg. Norman still with plenty of time here to try and get something. Cole guarded by Baker. Takes out another nice jump step. This time he finishes it off. Nicely done there by Cole, and that's going to end the first half. So a good, bucket there, good possession for Norman to end it. Still in a hole, but you're within shouting distance right now, 26-13 at the end of 16 minutes. All right, take a timeout. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Get you ready for the second half of action. Carl Albert ahead of Norman, 26-13, boys semifinal number 1 here at the Titan Classic on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
We want to make your next event an adventure. At Inflatable Adventures, we want to make your next event hassle-free by providing incredible products at a great price, along with amazing customer service. We offer one of the widest selections of bounce houses, water slides, obstacle courses, and so much more. Give us a call today or check us out online at inflatableadventures.org. Remember,
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, and my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
We come from different backgrounds, with diverse interests and unique learning styles. Finding classes that fit your individual needs isn't a challenge at Cameron University. A small campus and dedicated faculty ensures there's always someone close by to guide you on your journey. Your success is our success. Your education is our mission. At Cameron University, you're not a number, you're part of the family.
Here at Champion Plumbing, we take pride in taking care of our community. When we hit the road, we're fully prepared to solve your plumbing issues. We're family owned, and we are the standard for plumbing service. With a team full of champions, being the best plumbers in Oklahoma is just part of the job. So when we show up, you can rest easy, knowing that whatever the issue may be, we can handle it and make you a happy Champion customer. Contact Champion Plumbing today.
Sidelined by surgery, illness, injury? Valor Physical Therapy can help. At Valor PT, our skilled therapists create a rehabilitation program individualized for you, with education and encouragement each step of the way. Whether it's sports or the activities of life, let Valor get you back in the game. Start now at 405-265-6449. No referral needed. Mention Oklahoma Sports Network and get a free t-shirt at your first appointment.
Back here at the Titan Classic here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Want to thank our sponsors once more as we get ready to get going on this second half. Bob's Fish and Seafood, a proud sponsor of the Titan Classic here on the Oklahoma Sports Network, a great dining or carry-out seafood experience. Check them out at 9205 Northeast 23rd Street in OKC. That's Bob's Fish and Seafood. Also, of course, Dynamic Health Clinic in Hara. Play better, recover faster at Dynamic Health Clinic. And La Herencia Grill for the best Mexican food in Midwest City. Visit La Herencia, 6811 Southeast 15th Street. We are just about a little over a minute away from getting this second half started. Again, the winner of this one will get the winner of our next semifinal, which we'll have coming up for you shortly. Putnam City North and Destiny Christian, which should be an interesting game. Putnam City North, obviously big winners in their first round, number 3 team in 6A. Certainly looking the part yesterday. Destiny Christian, I don't want to call them the unknown team of the tournament, but not an OSSAA program. A team that probably most aren't real familiar with. What can they do tomorrow against the Panthers after rolling, or I shouldn't say rolling, but knocking off Ada yesterday in their first round matchup? So that's what's coming up for you here on OSN after this ball game wraps up. They'll be meeting tomorrow 8:30, the final game of the tournament tomorrow night in the championship. The girls' championship already set. Emma Memorial will take on Carl Albert tomorrow. That's a 7 o'clock tip here back in Carl Albert High School, as we'll have the call of that one as well. Jordan and I will have all games tomorrow, starting with the last place games, consolation finals, third place games with Sean Thurman, and then Jordan and I will step in for the championship. So, Jordan, we're getting ready here to start the second half. What's the key here for Norman to get back into this and try to mount a comeback?
Well, they got to find some way to force turnovers and try to score in the paint. As you can see, they're going to make a change. Usually teams will bring out their starting lineups at the beginning of the third quarter. They're not doing that here. They're going to bring in Billingsley, their smallest player, in for their biggest player, Marquise Combs-Pierce. So it's obvious they want to give Carl Albert a different look. Probably try to space them out.
So here we go in the second half. Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray, and the Oklahoma Sports Network boys semifinal number 1 here at the Titan Classic. Norman down 26-13. That's not what you want to start. A turnover here as Cole's pass went off the hands of Willenborg. And Mott, who didn't really play much that second quarter at all, just a few seconds there at the beginning after picking up his second foul. He's back in there. Now we got a quick foul here on Trayshawn Combs-Pierce for the Tigers.
Trayshawn Combs-Pierce gives him some size to Jaden Mott, who's guarding right now, and then we're going to call a Casey Baker for going out of bounds.
And a turnover by the Titans.
Yeah, other than Ryan Reynolds' explosion of three-point shooting in the first quarter,
we haven't
really seen much offense from Carl Albert. We did. And we're about to see it. We're about to see a violation, like you said. So Coach Cole calls a timeout for Norman.
So a very early timeout here in this second half, just a 30-seconder. Hey, you're right. I mean, obviously, if you came in and you told Coach Corey Cole before the game, Carl Albert's going to have 26 at the half, he probably would have been okay with that. I mean, that's not insurmountable, but the Titans have done a great job stifling Norman at the other end. Nothing has really come easy. I mean, they had the deep three from Miller. Cole had that one nice move. I mean, you can count their field goals on one hand practically, so got to try and find an adjustment.
Meanwhile, will Carl Albert try to exploit the fact that now they have the size advantage? Again, Mott inside. Norman doesn't have a player with his size, and he really hasn't done much on offense this game yet.
Billingsley gets it into Cole. Here come the Tigers over to Willenborg as Norman trying to work their way back in this thing here on the road. Billingsley, right-hand floater blocked by Reynolds. Pinballing around and ends up being rained down by Baker. Now he loses it. Bodies thrown everywhere, and we're going to have whistles.
Maybe a foul on Randall.
And it looks like it's on Norman. You are correct. B.J. Randall picks up the foul. Norman really didn't have any fouls against them in that first half hardly. Got 2 quick ones during the second half.
So even with more guards in for Norman, the pressure defense from Carl Albert is still really getting to them.
Hopkins gives it up to England. He'll pump fake once, long pass to the top. Baker, rocket to Reynolds. He hit 3 in the first half. There's 4. Clackam's Ryan Reynolds on the Bobby Lewis 3 ball. He's got 13.
Sometimes it's normally we don't want to say this so early, but in this case, there is a clear head above shoulder leader for player of the game if Carl Albert holds on and wins.
I was just thinking the same thing, that
Like
he's running away with that thing.
There's no second place person right now.
He remembers that we consider giving it to him in the Midwest City game back in December and didn't.
That's right.
He's trying to get it now. Cole responds. Clock comes right back. And boy, Norman needed that. A Bobby Lewis 3-ball for the Tigers pulls them back within 13.
That's the guy. Cole needs to be aggressive. He started to get more aggressive attacking the basket at the end of the second quarter.
Hopkins with a nice, tough finish at the rim. That was nice. Just kind of bullied his way to the rack and finished it.
And he has a size advantage against Randall, so he took advantage of it like you said.
Cole loses out of bounds. It'll stay at this end. It does seem like for Norman, if they're going to win this game, if they're going to rally, it's going to – Case and Cole's going to need to play at his very best. Like they're going to need him to really be special. Same goes probably for Trayshawn Combs-Pierce as well.
And Norman back to their starting lineup.
Here's Willenborg out in the corner. Randall. He's got Jade Mott on him, who did a good job kind of just blocking his vision. Here's Marquise Combs-Pierce right at Mott, and he's fouled. That's going to be 3 on Jaden Mott. Now, it hasn't really mattered. Carl Albert's been pretty good when Mott was out, but that is 3 fouls on one of Carl Albert's best players.
They're only big man, though, too. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I mean, Ryan Runnels probably could play some defensive post. So I don't know if you want him guarding Combs-Pierce. Maybe you do. More talking about Marquise anyway. So we'll see. We haven't seen a sub yet for the Titans. But Mott, he needs to learn. It's so important for him to learn to not foul. In this case, it wasn't much of a foul. It really could have been a no call. But you just got to be careful. You got to be careful what you do with your hands. And that's what they call the foul in his hands.
So Marquise Combs-Pierce goes 0 for 2 at the Rose State Charity Stripe. Not what you want there if you're Coach Cole and Norman. You need to cash it in when you're there. Here's Hopkins from the elbow. Boy, tell you what, Quincy Hopkins having a pretty nice game. Just take another look at that on the Croc Star Dinner Club instant replay.
Whoa! Oh my God, Baker.
Goodness.
Now this is what I've been talking about before in games we've done together. If you're a smaller guy and you run into a bigger guy, it's just like human nature for the refs to call that. I don't know if that's really a foul on Marquise Combs-Pierce, but because he's such a big guy and he's so much bigger than Baker, it just looks like a foul to the officials on first look.
Might have still been coming out of that replay on that. It was pretty quick. Baker just got trucked by big Marquise Combs-Pierce. He's okay, thankfully. Still in the game, obviously. There wasn't any break in the action, but he went flying. Here's Norman back to the way and a turnover. Hopkins jumped the route like a safety, takes it right to the rim, bullied his way and finished. Tell you what, Quincy Hopkins.
He's now kind of becoming close in second place.
Yeah,
some scoring to do.
He's tightening the gap a little bit on Reynolds. He's making a lot of nice plays. It's a 19-point lead for the Titans, more than doubling up Norman. In the corner, Willenborg for 3. That won't roll home. Trayshawn Combs-Pierce, nice rebound, and another foul. I think this might be Mott again. That would be 4 if so.
You cannot swing down like that. You have to stay completely vertical if you're trying to avoid foul trouble.
Frustrating night for Jaden Mott. He just hasn't been able to stay on the floor. It's going to be 4 fouls already. Still got over 13 minutes left in this game. Now, Titans are still in control. It may not end up mattering, but as Combs-Pierce makes the first one at the Rose State Charity Stripe. Past Rose State on the way in, by the way, driving over here. Saw the night campus, couple of nice buildings. Shout out them for sponsoring our Charity Stripe. As Combs-Pierce makes the first one, second one on the way here. And he missed it. 35-17.
That's real important for Norman. They have to take advantage of this size differential they have now. They got to go inside to Marquise Combs-Pierce or find some way to get him an offensive rebounding position at least.
Here's James with it for the Titans.
So he's being guarded by Marquise Combs-Pierce. Does he try to take him one-on-one? Looks like he will.
He'll take it right at him, and then Willenborg comes over for the block. It's a foul. Is it on Norman on the shot?
Yeah, I don't know who. It's on.
It's on Marquise Combs-Pierce. That's the second. Didn't really see what he did, but
very much a touch foul. It just shows when someone's attacking the basket, you have to be careful where you put your hands. I think that's all it was. I think Marquise Combs-Pierce had his hands on James when James went up for that shot.
So James misses the first one at the Rose State Charity Stripe. as the Titans trying to push out this lead a little more. Norman, meanwhile, will go to the bench, and we're getting the third Combs Pierce in the game. Montrell Combs Pierce comes in, number 32. He's right at the bottom of your screen there.
And they are all brothers, interestingly enough, even though Marquise has a very different build than Trayshawn, and then Montrell much shorter than the other two. Of course, Montrell's only a freshman, so we'll see.
Yeah, he's the young one. Marquise a senior, Trayshawn a junior, and then Montrell a freshman on this Norman team. Split the trip at the line there, so 36-17, Titans in front. Cole, bounce pass underneath to Willenborg. Hands off, Trayshawn Combs Pierce, had it poked away, then he got it back. And is he fouled? He was kind of falling out. It's a little bit of a bailout call. He was almost parked on the floor.
You know, it's interesting for Carl Albert. Reed DeQuasi, their quarterback who played a lot of basketball for him the last 2 years, but he had a shoulder injury starting in week 0 of the football season. He's decided to leave the basketball team to focus on recovering from his injury so he can play college football next year. Understandable decision. What this does for Carl Albert, now they go 7 deep with guys that Coach Price really trusts. They played a lot of players, obviously, against McAllister. Against Norman, because of the respect Coach Price has for Norman, they're only playing 7.
Cole off the feed from Sumo. Pass deflected, it's a turnover. England starts the break. Ahead to James. James to the rim, and he couldn't quite finish it. Went for the dunk and just left it a little short. Break the other way for Norman. Combs Pierce, and he lays it in, and a foul.
Coach Price wants to travel, but what do they say in basketball? You miss a layup on one end, it leads to a layup on the other.
Yep.
I think Tayshawn James, he needs to, for the time being anyway, I would get trying to dunk the ball in traffic out of my head and just focus on finishing.
Here's Combs Pierce at the Rose State charity stripe, and he puts it in. That's a 5-point swing from 21 to 16 off that fast break. Norman just kind of hanging in. I mean, they're hanging by a thread, but they're still close enough that it feels like if they could just find a hot streak offensively with the way they're playing defense, they could tighten that gap pretty quick. Here's James. Looked for Hopkins, but Jefferson denied it. Now underneath to England, and he's fouled by the youngest of the 3 Combs Pierce brothers.
Yeah, I could see what England's thinking. I got a freshman on me.
Yeah.
Give me the rock close to the basket.
Both teams with 5 fouls now, by the way, so just 1 each to give with still a lot of ball to be played here in this ball game. Knocked out of bounds, will stay at this end.
Look for Carl Albert to continue to go 5 out, unless they want to post up England, which he wants it.
Here's James with the ball, and pass deflected by Combs Pierce.
And a foul.
And a foul on Jefferson there. Tough break for Norman. You almost had a big turnover instead it resulted in another foul, and that was your last one to give. So Titans are in the bonus for the final 11-15 of this game.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more Landon Miller in this game for Norman because they're not hitting shots right now, so you might want to bring in someone who can make it, but he's not in right at the moment.
Hit that big 3 earlier, their first bucket. Here's Reynolds for 3. Has 4 to his name so far, didn't get that one. Russell just ripped that thing down. And a second chance for the Titans. Here's James with it. He thought about taking to the rim. He said he'll back it out. Now he'll go right around. Combs Pierce to the rim. Can't finish. A lot of contact. And a foul on the Tigers.
I still like that James is being real aggressive there.
Yeah.
Now, he ran the risk of being called for an offensive foul, so he needs at some point to add to his arsenal, attack the basket, but drive and kick. Look to dish it out to a teammate. However, blocking foul there, so he's at the Rose State charity stripe.
Yep, Rose State charity stripe where James is residing. He misses the first one. Cole back in for Norman along with Bo Billingsley. They come in for Sumo and Jefferson as the Tigers trying to mount a comeback. Still not just quite enough offense, although it's been better in the second half. Obviously just 13 at the break. They've got more than half of that back in the first 5 minutes and change. Second free throw good, 37-20. Titans in the lead. There's Billingsley with it for Norman. He'll fire in the corner. Good find. Combs Pierce for 3 and didn't hit it.
Well, you can't ask for a more open look.
Yeah, no. James starts it back the way for the Titans. Guarded by Billingsley. Step back at the elbow. Oh, boy. On the Crocstar Dinner Club instant replay, that was a filthy step back by Tayshawn James.
Now that is a symbol that he may be back to his old self.
He has looked pretty nice these last couple of games here. Battling, here's Willenborg, turnaround shot is good. That was a nice, tough finish.
Yeah, if I was Norman, I wouldn't leave that. You keep being, look for post-up opportunities for certain players like Willenborg.
Final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Norman down 17. Got to feel like they got to get it at least somewhat within reason for the quarter end. That's another hard fall for James. And it's an offensive, or is it offensive foul?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was.
Again, you love the aggression, but some of that he needs to tone down. What I mean by that is you need to try to shoot a pull-up shot like he made earlier. You need to look to dish it to your teammate. But he's just trying to go dunk the ball each time. And honestly, if you're not making it, you might run the risk of hurting yourself.
He's had some really hard falls, yeah.
So I give him credit for his boldness. I mean, he's going to play college football at Iowa State next year. You don't want to, put yourself on the 8 ball with a serious injury.
Right. First time in the game for Carl Albert comes Jaden Hopkins, the freshman guard. He looked really good last night. First time getting some run here in the semis. Cole guarded by Reynolds. Final 90 seconds of the third quarter. Bounce pass here to Willenborg. Guarded by Baker. Kind of backs him down. Takes it right to the rim. Can't finish. Put back attempt. No. Rebound loose and England runs it down. It's a good move by Willenborg, but
you can't ask for a better look than what Norman's got the last 2 or 3 possessions.
They've had a lot of that. Just haven't been able to finish or hit the open 3 or whatever it may be tonight. It's been kind of a little bit of a frustrating game in that aspect for the Tigers and Coach Cole. Here's Hopkins. Will take it right at Willenborg. And a foul from behind as Hopkins was going to either lay it in or dunk it. And he'll shoot 2.
Actually a good fouler by Willenborg, able to reach in from behind and get enough of the ball to keep him from having a good shot at the goal, and he misses a free throw.
Hopkins misses the first one at the Rose State charity stripe. Back in comes Randall in place of Willenborg. That was just his second foul, so probably just a little bit of a rest here before the fourth quarter. Last push. Another split trip. 40-22, Titans in the lead. Cole gets around Baker. Gives it up to Combs Pierce, who's been much quieter tonight than he was in the opening round. Win over Tahlequah last night. Finds his brother. That was a good pass. He gives it up to Cole for 3. Clackums. Good ball movement results in a Bobby Lewis 3 ball for Case and Cole. And Norman's down 15 as we near the end of the quarter. England racing ahead. Can't finish it off. Got his own rebound. Lost it. Got it back again. And that rolled home, but they're going to call a jump ball before the shot. Arrow will keep it at this end. And that's the perfect jump ball for Carl Albert, because it flips the arrow, then you're going to flip it right back in 21 seconds.
Well, Norman will get it back to start the fourth quarter now, but
give it up to Baker. 15 seconds. 40-25. Billingsley guarding Baker. Gets around him, hands it off to Hopkins. Hopkins pulls up from just inside the elbow there. Didn't go. Tip back attempt, no. Rebound comes down to the other Hopkins. Up at the buzzer, and he got it. Jaden Hopkins, just 5'10", somehow ripped down that board and put it in right at the buzzer. You got to look at it there in the Crocstar Dinner Club instant replay. How do you like that? And the Titans finish with a bang in the third quarter. 42-25. Carl Albert leads it after 3. Take a timeout. Back for the fourth next right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Augusta Contracting is a general contracting company that specializes in commercial and industrial construction projects. When you choose us as a partner for a project, we assure quality workmanship, exceptional performance, and unparalleled client satisfaction. At Augusta Contracting, safety is top priority. Our main focus is to send our team home to their families safe, happy, and healthy. Augusta Contracting, where your idea turns to reality and your project comes to life.
Back at the Titan Classic, Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray ready for the fourth quarter here in boys semifinal number 1. Titans have, they've just kind of kept Norman at arm's length. Tigers have tried to work their way back in it, but haven't been able to. And now you're pretty low on time here, as Norman's going to need a big push. Only 25 on the board. Going to need a big push in the fourth quarter to try and make up this gap. But we'll see.
Well, what we'll see from Norman is what type of defense they'll install to try to get stops, because Carl Albert can be pretty patient when they want to be on offense.
Cole underneath to Combs-Pierce. Long pass to Billingsley in the corner. They need a lot of this. Oh, boy, it rolls off. Combs-Pierce, though, rips down the board. Put back, no good, but he's fouled. So to the line goes Trayshawn Combs-Pierce.
I think really highly of Quincy Hopkins' game. He's made some really good plays on offense. He's a tremendous athlete. But Trayshawn Combs-Pierce abused him on that sequence. Hopkins tried to box him out, and it's like he had no chance. That's really saying something.
Combs-Pierce makes the first one at the Rose State charity stripe. As Norman, this is a good way to get back in it, free throws. Another split trip, though. Rebound ran down by England after Randall made a bid for it. He's kind of trapped in the corner, though. Somebody's got to help him. It's loose. It's a turnover. Cole now has it. Feeds off to Combs-Pierce. Pump fake once, and he lays it in. It kind of sat there for a minute, but he put it home.
That's one of the few times I've seen Jordan England get effectively trapped like that and lose the ball. See if Norman can keep that type of defense going.
And now down 14, 42-28. England racing to the rim, can't finish it. Another stop for Norman. Start the break. Here goes Kason Cole to the rim. He lays it in a really hard fall. As the younger Hopkins, just landed right on Cole there. Hopkins was the one who had the hard fall, but Cole kind of broke it for him and landed right on him. This game's only a 12-point matchup all of a sudden.
I guarantee you both coaches are unhappy with fouls not being called on their point guards. When I say on, I mean drawing fouls.
Right.
But good to see Kason Cole gets up. I mean, he's going to make this thing interesting. It's now 12. He can single-handedly bring Norman back.
So Tigers, a little 5-0 spurt here to open the fourth. And that's a travel, an immediate turnover. So not only is Norman getting stopped, but this is a couple of really quick possessions in a row for Carl Albert. We're just a little over a minute in.
What happens is Norman plays mostly a half-court defense for much of this game. And then, here at the beginning of the fourth quarter, they decide to trap. Carl Albert has not seen anything like that in a while, and they're not used to it. So their first few possessions playing that fast on offense, that they're playing at speed they're not comfortable with at the moment. We'll see at what point they get comfortable. They call it an illegal screen. Yep, probably on Trayshawn Combs-Pierce.
Well, I don't know if you
he's
can
not
really,
happy with it either.
I don't know if you can really do the fallacy of, predetermined outcome or however you want to call it, but that 3-ball for Cole went down. Would have made it a 9-point game. Tough break there for Norman.
Yeah, I didn't see the screen, so I don't know how illegal it was.
Right. Here's Hopkins, feeds off to Mott, who's back in there with the 4 fouls. You've barely seen him in this game. And we got a whistle and a foul, and England will head to the line with 6:39 to play.
I don't know if Jordan England's even scored this half. So he's been a bit more quiet offensively. But he's the guy you want with the ball beating a press. I don't know if he's the guy you want initially when he's trapped. He might be, but you'd rather have him be the guy that receives the pass off the trap trying to beat the press because how dynamic he is in the open court.
England hits the first one, making a 13-point lead. For Carl Albert trying to just fend off Norman, get to the championship game in their home tournament tomorrow. One comes Pierce for another as Marquise comes in for Trayshawn. England makes them both. Titans are in the double bonus now, by the way, as that was 10 fouls on Norman. Timeout on the floor. We'll go ahead and take it with them. 6:39 to go. 44-30. Carl Albert in front on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Here at Champion Plumbing, we take pride in taking care of our community. When we hit the road, we're fully prepared to solve your plumbing issues. We're family owned, and we are the standard for plumbing service. With a team full of champions, being the best plumbers in Oklahoma is just part of the job. So when we show up, you can rest easy, knowing that whatever the issue may be, we can handle it and make you a happy Champion customer. Contact Champion Plumbing today.
Back at the Titan Classic, Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray on the Oklahoma Sports Network. 6:39 to go. Carl Albert leads at 44-30. Trying to finish the job here, get to the championship tomorrow and await their opponent. The PC North Panthers will be on the floor next, taking on Destiny Christian in our final game of day 2 in the second boys semifinal. Here's Cole on the right wing, step back, and he gives it up to Combs Pierce. He'll give it underneath to his brother Marquise, and he finishes it off.
You know, Marquise does a good job positioning himself to be on the receiving end of those type of passes. He's constantly getting himself open under the basket. 10 seconds.
Wow, that seemed like a quick 10 seconds. I don't doubt the count, but I didn't have a feel for that. Whistle came quick, snuck up on me a little bit. 6:06 to go. Another turnover forced by Norman. One deep ball from getting this to single digits.
See how Mott does on defense. Can it be effective without fouling?
Here's Cole driving the baseline on Baker. He can't finish, but he is fouled. So back to the line goes Kason Cole with 5:55 to go. What's working in Norman's favor right now is how quick these possessions are on both sides. I mean, both teams have gotten a lot of shots up, and we're only a little over 2 minutes into this fourth quarter.
Yeah, Carl Albert has not protected their lead very well. That's
no.
for sure.
Not working the clock like you anticipated they would, and they're more than capable of. Just haven't really done that. Cole makes the first one.
Now, on the defensive end, Casey Baker defended Cole there about as well as he could, and I didn't see why they called the foul, but that's just a credit to Case and Cole for being able to initiate that contact and getting the free throw line.
Cole knocks them both down, so make it 44-34. And Coach Cole's going to get him a little bit of a break here. This is going to go to Montrell Combs Pierce. Can't imagine for real long. As Norman tries to battle back in it. And another turnover forced by Trayshawn. Combs Pierce to the rim. He couldn't finish it. It'll go out of bounds. It'll be Norman ball with 5:48 to go. Another turnover forced by Norman. This is kind of unprecedented right now what the Tigers are doing. They forced Carl Albert into so many mistakes.
Now they're back on offense. Cole comes back in. You know, when Pierce went down, he dragged Casey Baker with him. And Casey Baker, Jordan England had to be like, hey, let's get away from him. I think Baker was hot about that one. And that will come out.
Yeah, probably a savvy move there by Coach Price, saying let's go ahead and get him out for the moment. 10-point game, and Norman's got the ball. They're trying to make this interesting. Here's Cole, double team, and he lost it. England tracing him down. That's the matchup we wanted. He feeds it to Hopkins. Finish it through contact.
Man, they're letting them play. A lot of contact there.
That was a sweet move, and now Billingsley the other way feeds it to Marquise Combs Pierce. Oh, and he missed the easy lay-in. And it goes back to Carl Albert. Boy, what a tough miss that was. It was a great feed by Billingsley. Combs Pierce just kind of maybe rushed it a little more than he needed to.
Yeah, I think he got distracted. I think he thought he was going to get an undercut or something like that.
It was all alone. I don't think he totally realized it. Now the Titans end up with a 3-on-1 somehow. Here's Mott to the rim, and he's blocked. Oh, he made up for it because that was a sweet block on Jaden Mott. Here come the Tigers to the way. Combs Pierce for three, halfway down and out. Boy, that would have been huge.
Mott's got to be careful. He had his hands on the box out there on Combs Pierce.
Final 5 minutes. The Norman faithful that are right in front of us here, they're ready to explode, and they've been close a couple times. Here's England back with it for the Titans. He'll drive to the rim, hand off to James. Norman did a good job collapsing on him, and we're going to have a foul on the Tigers, which will be 2 free throws because Carl Albert's in the double bonus. First one on Cole.
Yeah, I still don't know if James is all the way back to the player he was last year, so one way to tell is how he does the free throw line in the fourth quarter.
Here's the first one for him at the Rose State charity stripe. How did that roll in? Looked like he left it short. I don't know what kind of spin that thing had.
Hit the front end of the rim and then managed to roll in.
Second one on the way for James. It's a 14-point lead. Carl Albert continuing to just kind of fend Norman off, but Tigers have made it interesting here in the fourth. They've picked up their level of play. Might be a little too late, though. We'll see what happens over the final 4.5. Here's Randall with it for Norman. Nice move here to try and shake England, but he lost it. Russell goes diving after it, and he just stole it away from him. And the Titans snuck a timeout in. Wow.
That's something we've seen a lot of in this tournament. A lot of diving for loose balls, and if the player gets it, the coach bails him out with a timeout. Helps him out, I should say, not bails out.
There's a 30-second timeout, so we'll stick here. 48-34. Winner of this one gets PC North and Destiny Christian. That'll be our next game here on OSN. Like you said, PC North, Carl Albert did play earlier this year in Mustang. I just checked the score on that one, 63-56. PC North.
Well, I will say
Carl Albert. So
it got close at the end, but PC North was handling Carl Albert for most of that game by double figures.
Right.
Which, by the way, that's on YouTube, like a lot of these games now are.
Lets you know what the Panthers are, what they're capable of. That'll be our next game, and potentially set up a rematch of that.
That and the fact that PC North then won the Mustang tournament a day later is one of the big reasons why they are the #1 seed this year.
Number 3 team in 6A are the Panthers. They were #1 at one point this year. Them and Edmond North have been kind of jockeying a little bit. 6A very competitive up at the top. Norman knows all about that. That's the number 8 team in the class. Obviously hasn't been split up just yet as far as East-West and that kind of thing. Here's Russell as we hit the final half of the fourth quarter. Hopkins gives it up to James C. Norman being very aggressive here, trying to force turnovers. It's been pretty successful in that area in this fourth quarter, but they need a lot more to try and make up this gap. James, and Combs Pierce poked it away and got a turnover. There you go.
That's what Trayshawn Combs Pierce can do with his length and his athleticism, his quickness.
Quickly the other way. Here's Montrell Combs Pierce. He'll slow it up. The freshman getting some meaningful minutes here. Another freshman, Billingsley. Kick out, Cole in the corner, wide open for 3. Clackums! Bobby Lewis 3-ball, and it just feels like Kason Cole that open. He's going to hit it a pretty high percentage of the time. And with 3:28 to go, Carl Albert leads Norman 48-37. Tigers not going away just yet here in the Titan Classic. You just can't quite call this one over just yet. I mean, Carl Albert's in pretty good shape here, but Norman will not go quietly into the night.
Well, credit Bo Billingsley for getting into the paint, and he got in the paint with a desire to kick it back out. He was looking, he kept his eyes open, and he found Kason Cole in the corner. And you know what's interesting? I still feel good about, obviously, Ryan Reynolds for player of the game, but he's not in right now. And I think the reason is that Coach Price would rather have Tayshaun James on defense against the perimeter players for Carl Albert.
Well, here's the argument for Ryan Reynolds. Those 3 balls early in the game that got Carl Albert to that 10, 12-point lead, that's basically that's what they're operating with. They've kind of it's been a little bit of a wash ever since then. I mean,
that's the difference. What Carl Albert did the first quarter, mostly in the first half, is the difference right now.
Russell tied up. It's a jump ball, and the arrow will keep it with Carl Albert. On the board, it says Carl Albert has the arrow. There's some confusion. Yeah.
But there is confusion.
Cole and James both went to do the inbound. So Carl Albert does keep it, and now a tough foul here on Billingsley. That's going to be 2 free throws for Hopkins. If he misses them, not that bad for Norman. I mean, you're just trying to make it quick.
Even if he misses one, it's probably good.
Yeah,
you got to be willing to go through that, yeah. Because you miss one, but if you get the ball back off that, you also didn't take much time off the clock.
Hopkins hits the first one at the Rose State charity stripe. Titans one away from a 50 spot. And he obliges, so a couple of clutch free throws there for Quincy Hopkins, stepping right up and knocking him down. Lead back up to 13.
Oh, that should be an illegal
that's a foul on Willenborg, yep.
You're just better off not having your arms up like that, because there's just too much a chance if you're moving around, you'll look like you're pushing with those arms. I know you're often taught to hold them up, but
right.
I would change my stance up when I set a screen like that.
Inbound to England in the backcourt. If the Titans can just make their free throws and avoid big turnovers, they're probably going to be okay. Hopkins, that's a bit of a quicker possession that you probably want. If your Coach Price comes up empty, start the break for Norman. Cole in the corner, pump fake once. Now rocket pass, Billingsley for 3. That won't go. Rebound England, and he's bumped and fouled.
Yeah, they're going to call the incidental contact on Willenborg, which is his 4th.
That's 4, yeah. So England will shoot 2. One of those you've been kind of harping on here. Those fouls 90 feet from the basket that result in free throws to the other side they're always kind of tough to stomach.
Well, the fouls that you don't like in those situations are when you reach in because you're taking an unnecessary gamble. Willenborg crashed the offensive glass, and his momentum just kept carrying him into England. I don't think that was, at the same intelligence level as some of those other fouls that I'm talking about when you just reach in and you don't need to.
England misses the first one. 2:59, all that's left. We'll have one more game for you. 8:30, the scheduled tip for Putnam City North and Destiny Christian, but I would just look for that about 10 minutes-ish or so after this one ends. England splits the trip, 51-37 Titans in the final 3 minutes here. Looking to punch their ticket to the championship game tomorrow. Combs Pierce guarded by Hopkins. He'll get around him to the rim. Nice left-hand finish. Take another look at that one on the Crocstar Dinner Club instant replay as we get ready to have another timeout here. 2:46 left, 51-39. We'll go ahead and take it with them as that replay finishes up. Full timeout, we'll take it to 51-39 Titans. Boys semifinal number 1 on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Coast Technology Group helps you feel safe and secure utilizing simple, reliable technology. Allow our team of experts to help you design the right system with high-definition surveillance cameras, cutting-edge smart alarm systems, and thoughtfully designed access control for your home or business. Work, sleep, and play with confidence, knowing CTG is your technology partner.
Back at the Titan Classic here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Josh Calloway, Jordan Ray. Boys semifinal number 1. Game 7 of day 2 here at the Titan Classic. Been a fun event. Hopefully you've been with us the whole way on the Oklahoma Sports Network. But if you haven't been, all the games are there for you first off. But also we have a lot of basketball still left to go. Another game after tonight and then a full 8-game slate again tomorrow. Wrapping up the event in the final tournament week of the season for high school basketball. Fire ahead to Hopkins as the Titans up by 12. Baker gets behind the defense to the rim, and he can't finish it. Another stop for Norman. This has happened a lot in this fourth quarter, and now there's a foul. And so Tony Jefferson for the Tigers is going to get a 1-and-1 at the other side. He can make this a 10-point game.
Yeah, he just dribbled into Baker. I think Baker's problem is, he started shooting that layup. He wasn't wide open. He wasn't all the way to the basket. He tried to just float it up there. That's not the automatic shot you want. You shoot an easy 100% guarantee layup or you dribble it back out.
Jefferson misses, but the rebound by Combs Pierce. Turnaround shot is good and the foul! And it's a 10-point game with a free throw coming at the line. I'll tell you what, it's weird to say for a program and a team like Carl Albert, but they have just not done a great job in this fourth quarter about making smart plays, both offensively and defensively.
Well, and Trayshawn Combs Pierce is wearing out Quincy Hopkins on this end.
He's having a good fourth quarter, although as I say that he misses the free throw. Now we're going to have a whistle and a foul.
His Achilles heel.
Here's again a foul really far from the basket that'll lead to two free throws. Now last time Quincy Hopkins cashed it in for two. We'll see what the Titans do here. I'm not sure who's even shooting these. I think it might be James, and it is.
Yeah, the problem there is the missed free throw. And that is the limitation for Trayshawn Combs Pierce. Otherwise, a spectacular player. Well, another missed free throw. This is for James.
It's the first one, and this lead just keeps on kind of whittling. And part of that is I said it earlier, but just the volume of possession. So many quick possessions back and forth, whether it's by taking a quick shot or turning it over or a foul like that where they don't even really have it. Norman's gotten a chance a lot. James splits the trip, so it's back up to 11. Still enough time to work with here for Norman that you feel like you could maybe do this. We'll see. Cole sets a screen for him. Combs Pierce trying to back down his defender. Pass in the corner. Open three for Montrell. Combs Pierce, and it doesn't go. Boy, it was a clean look. And James, a great rebound and stays in bounds. England starts the break for the Titans. Bounce pass to Mont. Turnaround slam. And you check out that dunk on the Crocstar Dinner Club instant replay as the Titans get a much-needed dunk there. Back to the way Cole is fouled.
That might be Mott's first basket.
Yeah, I think it is. Taking out some frustration, I think, on the rim there because it's been got to be a frustrating day for him. He has those 4 fouls. He's barely been on the floor because of foul trouble.
I recently saw someone get called for technical for holding on the rim just as long as Mott did, which I didn't agree with. I forgot what game it was, but you got to let a player obviously have enough time to make sure he gathers his feet.
Cole makes the first one at the Rose State charity stripe as the Titans trying to just fend off here. They are pretty close to doing it, but Norman has been extremely pesky in this fourth quarter. 2-for-2 trip there. 11-point game, 54-43. Hopkins ahead to James. And a whistle and a foul. More free throws. We've had a lot of free throws in this fourth quarter.
That's right. Both teams over the double bonus.
Right. The Rose State charity stripe getting a workout in this fourth quarter.
It's probably good for Carl Albert to go through this right now in preparation for PC North, potentially, though we don't want to completely count out Destiny Christian. But games beyond, they need to take care of the press better. There's a couple times they throw it into Jordan England or someone like that in what is commonly referred to as dead man's corner, where you have little room to go. You want to try to avoid that when you try to beat a press.
1:40 to go. Probably just academic now. Not a lot of time left for Norman. Combs Pierce for 3, won't fall. Rebound is loose, picked up by James. And I think the Titans snuck a timeout in there as James was stuck on the baseline with a $1:26 to play.
Very effective. We've seen some very effective traps for Norman, and it's kind of something worth asking why maybe they should do it more often. We'll see if they do it at an earlier point in the game they play tomorrow.
Up next for us, Putnam City North Panthers, number 3 team in 6A, the number 1 seed here, taking on the Destiny Christian Wildcats, who were the 5 seed at this event. So a little bit of a mild upset over Ada in the first round yesterday. It was a close, competitive game, and we'll see what they can do with the mighty Panthers in our final game of the day. It'll be a different stream, so obviously this game will end, and just look for the next stream to open up just a few minutes or so after this one wraps. Jordan and I will be back with you to finish up day 2 of the Titan Classic. And then we'll be back at it tomorrow, 10 a.m. with the last place games. Or not last place games, 7th place games, I should say.
In a way, they're last place games, too.
You get what I'm saying.
Whoever loses goes 0-3.
Yeah.
You call them last place.
That's not what you want.
No.
And the 5th place games, the consolation games. Sean Thurman will step in and give us the 3rd place games tomorrow. Then Jordan and I will hook back up for the championship games tomorrow night.
And the home team, Carl Albert, looks like they'll be playing in both of them. And that, for us, we are the network that brings you Middale, so that will add some sizzle to those broadcasts for sure.
Should be a pretty good crowd in here tomorrow, I would imagine. It's a good crowd tonight.
I'll tell you again, Carl Albert's just having some frustrations with his press. As Norman gets it back, I don't think there's enough time, and Norman does not shoot well enough so far to come back, but...
Yeah, I don't think there's enough time either, but Norman's definitely made Carl Albert sweat it a bit in this 4th. It wasn't a cruise to the finish by any means. Here's Randall. He'll pull up for 3. That won't fall. Rebound ripped down by Mott. Feeds it off to Hopkins. Double teamed. He fires ahead. Caught by James. James fires ahead. Mott behind the defense, and he lost it. England there, though, to clean it up. And the lead goes back to 15 into the final minute, and the Titans do indeed look like they're well on their way. As Colster doesn't go, rebound Mott. Carl Albert will move to 13-2 on the season. Norman will fall to 8-6. And Carl Albert will await the PC North Destiny Christian winner tomorrow for all the marbles here at the Titan Classic. This was a rematch of last year's championship, correct? And the Titans
Carl Albert pulled that out.
Get it again. Get on the win column over the Tigers once more.
They're calling the ball game early with 18 seconds as both teams go to their bench. I guess the refs can do that.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah.
I was a little thrown off by Norman walking off with 20 seconds on the clock.
Well, maybe they can't do that. So another ref is taking charge here.
That was weird. Yeah, we had the official on the far side called ball game.
He did. He called ball game.
But then the official overruled him, said, no, we're going to play this out. The clock has just been running this whole time, by the way. And that'll do it. That was one of the more peculiar endings to a game I've ever seen. It doesn't really matter. Carl Albert wins it 58-43. A good job there by the Titans to close it out.
Interestingly, he didn't play the entire 4th quarter, but we'll still give because he threw the knockout punch, as it turned out, the Triple Elite Player of the Game to Ryan Reynolds.
Triple Elite, find world-class designs and hot new styles at Triple Elite, 405-610-5200. Ryan Reynolds, our player of the game here for the Titans win over the Tigers. Carl Albert moved to the championship game tomorrow night at 8:30, and Norman will be back 5:30 tomorrow in the consolation, or the 3rd place game, I should say. Getting all mixed up on the game titles. 3rd place game against the loser of our next game. All right, that's it for us. For Jordan Ram, Josh Calloway, we'll hop out, look for the next stream. PC North, Destiny Christian coming up in about 10 minutes or so from now, right back here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.